Hello everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. We're going to look at the tarot scope for the sign of Aquarius for the month of August 2021. So this applies to Aquarius, Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Moon, Aquarius Rising. If you have perhaps one of the nodes in Aquarius, North Node, South Node, or if you have a very full 11th house, this could also refer to you. Excuse me. Let me take a look at the astrology and see what's up for the sign of Aquarius. So during the month of August, we have Jupiter in Aquarius. Jupiter had been in Pisces, but was in retrograde motion. It had dipped its little toe into Pisces for a few months, and moved back into Aquarius at the end of July. That was July 28th. So as we move into August, we have Jupiter continuing to move backwards into Aquarius. We also have a Aquarius full moon. This is actually the second Aquarius full moon of the year. We had the first one back in July. That one occurred at I think 1.5 degrees of Aquarius. And this one that's occurring on August 22nd is occurring at 30 degrees of Aquarius. So we have that full moon in Aquarius. We also, of course, and then the moon is in Aquarius from the 20th to that full moon on the 22nd. So that's kind of a little bit of a taste of the Aquarius energies of August. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Thoth deck for Aquarius this month, and we will see what do we need to be aware of as Aquarius is for the month of August. So let me just finish shuffling these. The Thoth deck is kind of big and unwieldy, so it's a little hard. It's a hard shuffle, as it were. It's like you have to have giant man hands to shuffle these. And well, I do have relatively big hands for a woman. You need like basketball player hands for these. Goodness gracious. Ah, there we go. It's starting to soften up now. All right. All right. Let's see what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? All right. We start with the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles. So this is an energy of hard work that has been brought you to a place of stability and security. It is this is making your own way in a lot of senses. Sort of the self-made person. And the crossing card is love. Wow, that's interesting. There's a certain amount of, and this is the Two of Cups. There's a certain amount of self-containment that Aquarius has. There's a saying in astrology coined by Jeff Jower that said Aquariuses love humanity. It's people they have problems with. So this love card as a crossing card can indicate somebody who may not be all that comfortable with the more sort of intimate one-on-one relationships. So there's something about love that is challenging you. Let's see what's at the base. We have the Seven of Wands. This is about holding your space and holding your place. It's a card of bravery. It's also a card associated with Leo, which of course is the opposite sign of Aquarius, but also the sign associated with the heart and with love. So these are looking pretty interesting. In the past, we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a card that talks of our ability to listen to the small, still voice within. It speaks to traditional values in a lot of ways, but it also speaks to traditions that are ancient, not just like religious traditions as in, the Catholic Church or the synagogue or, that kind of stuff. But even further back than that, it is an energy of somebody who knows how to work the energy and utilize their wisdom for their own benefit. So we have, and the benefit of others. It's not just about them, but it is a wisdom card. We have the Queen of Discs in the sky. So this is Earth of Earth, as it were. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. This is the Queen of Discs. I was thinking of the page. The Queen of Discs is somebody who understands how to manifest, how to maintain what she has, values what she has, sits on her hill here, looking over her fertile fields, as it were. So this is so there's an energy here of sustaining your finances, perhaps, or your situation, your hard-fought or hard-earned values and money and resources. And in the immediate future, here we have the Princess of Discs. All right, so this is Earth of Earth, right? This is Earth of Earth. This is actually Water of Earth. All the queens are associated with water, so emotions. And this is practicality, the page or the Princess of Discs. This, there can be a little bit of a complicated and thorny situation facing you around resources, perhaps around a new start, a new project, that has potential for success, but also needs to be worked. But I feel like there's a new opportunity coming for you, which is in its way a little bit disruptive because you're already in a good place with this thing, right? How it's seen from the outside, we get the Three of Swords. This is a card of betrayal. This may not be your experience, but there may be people around you that are a little worried about this, that this might not be a good idea for you. Your domestic situation is Aeon, which is the Judgment card. This says to me that it's up to you, and you have to utilize your good judgment in order to make a decision about your life. It's less about what other people think. Hopes and fears is the Five of Pentacles. So you're worried perhaps about losing some money, and the outcome is the Hermit. Um, I think that's about keeping your own counsel. Keeping your own counsel. So I think people in your life are well-meaning and a little bit concerned. You yourself have some worry about the situation. But in general, it's really up to you to make the decision to utilize all the wisdom in your armament, if I should say. Um, and perhaps it requires a little bit more time to think about it and to mull it over. There's nothing here really about, taking an action. Do it now. That's not really the energy. Um, so whatever it is that you're facing, whatever new situation is coming into your life, is it love? Is it perhaps that the crossing card of the love card may not have anything to do with personal love? It may be a dream that you have, something that you would love to do, but because it's in the challenge position, it's going to take a lot of courage to do, because you're used to being this sort of in charge person around these issues, and what's coming up for you is putting you in an unusual situation in that excuse me, putting you in an unusual situation that you're not quite sure of, or that it perhaps puts you in a situation that's a tad out of character for you, perhaps. And underneath it all, wow, Aquarius, we have the Knight of Cups, which is somebody offering you some love, right? This is usually the romantic card. And then we have the Lovers, which is about choice. And then we have, And then we have the Temperance card, or Art, in this deck, which is a card of healing. So this actually looks like you may have a romance brewing. And while it may be a little uncomfortable and takes a little takes a little getting used to this this sort of new thing that you're doing, this little bit of a risk for you, I think ultimately it pays off. Ultimately it pays off. So yay for you, Aquarius. And I used the Thoth deck and I got all these lovely cards. So we will go with it, right? Okay, so we're gonna do an oracle deck, I guess you would call this. And I've had this deck for years, and it's always one of my favorites. And I haven't ever seen, I bought it years ago, and I haven't ever seen it again. Like, I've never seen anybody use this deck. Let me see when this was. This was copyrighted in 1993, which is interesting because that's the year of the, that's the year that Neptune and Uranus had 3 conjunctions. I think it was 3 of them. The first one was on the 2nd of February, 1993, which was, in fact, the day I was initiated as a Wiccan. So that date has a special meaning for me. That year has a special meaning for me. I also feel that 1993, as a master number year, was quite a lot of light came to the planet, and a lot of things sprung up. I mean, the 90s were really kind of neat, actually. Probably my favorite decade, actually, the 90s. In my lifetime, anyway. So these cards are called the crop circle cards. And they're done by, and they're like all messed up here, Carol Quinley. Carol Quinley. It says here, let's see here, Carol Quinley, crop circle cards. That's what the little book looks like. And this is what the cards look like. So let's take a look. So I'm going to pick 3 cards and see what messages we get to further elucidate what we got in the initial reading with the Thoth deck. I think I've had the Thoth deck a little longer than I've had these, but I think I probably purchased them right around the same time when I was first exploring something different, actually. I grew up Catholic. I was actually practically born in the Catholic Church, literally, figuratively. Both literally and figuratively. Went to Catholic school and was a Sunday school teacher, for those of you who were shocked. All right. So we have the first card is Grace. Grace. So grace is a gift from Spirit. Grace is when we open ourselves up and Spirit comes to soothe us. And we have speech, and discipline, building structure, discipline. You know that Page of Pentacles could be a person, but it could also be a new opportunity. These cards speak a little bit more of a new opportunity. Okay, let's see what the little book says. So the first one is Grace. I am divine dispensation and grace. I promise to shower you with well-deserved positive experiences. Ooh, that's good. Look into my pictogram and feel the shift from limitation, karma, to grace. Remember, I am always potentially available to heal any wounds instantaneously. All you have to do is tap my divine resource. And then the next card is speech. And I'll hold it up as I read it. There's also keys. She has keys here. That last card, like musical keys. That last card was, it says, it's associated with the sign of Virgo, which is interesting because the Princess of Discs is a Virgo card. And it is any chord, it says here. This is speech. And speech is key G. For you people who are associated with music, you may understand this a little better than I do. It says, I am speech. It is time when you may speak the truth freely and broadcast what you know. You may have chosen various channels of media and or self-expression, such as writing, painting, or teaching. And then we have the last card is discipline. Trying to pull this up. Discipline, build. This looks a tad like actually it looks like an opposition, right? This sort of reminds me of the full moon, interestingly enough. So that full moon may be a time for you to really sort of come out. But let's see what discipline says. It says it is the color green, and of course the key F. I am discipline, practical wisdom, which builds clear, logical, and workable structures. I am a maintainer and a focuser. I can single handedly hold the third dimension space open in order to build form. Currently, you may have the discipline it takes to effectively build a new structure or project. And that's really what the card said, that there's some new sort of project coming in. It could be a personal relationship, or it could be a project. What do they call those projects? There's an expression. It's not love project, but maybe pet project. But even more so than a pet project, because a pet project is sort of like, it's like, yeah, I'll do it when I have time. But this one, I think, is something that you're going to have a new opportunity that's going to be offered to you. And you have the capacity to really make it your own and um, utilize the wisdom that you have. Um, but again, I think there's no necessarily rush to do it, but a first step is a good thing. It's like start it, like start the process. The opportunity is here. The cards really support it, but you may get some people around you may say, "What are you, crazy? You're going to do that? Oh, I don't think that's a good idea." Blah 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 blah. So this really is about keeping your own counsel. You know enough between what you know from this life to what you know from previous lives to be able to pull this one off. And I think it is something that needs to happen. I mean, we're moving into the Aquarian age, right? Who better than Aquarius to start building the structures that are going to be going to have equanimity? I said the word. I don't always say that one. So there's your reading, Aquarius. Sounds great. Great reading. I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe. I will see you again next month, the month of September, for your Taroscope for Aquarius. But until then, good luck with your new projects. Namaste.